Right. Hello and welcome to a session of FitEssentials Basics. My name is Shauna. I'll be guiding you through. We're going to start seated today. And our very end of the class, we will do a session or one of our circuits down on the floor or a bed, somewhere that you can lie on your back. We're going to do some low back stretching at the end and some glute activation with some bridges. So here we go. We're going to start seated in the chair. All right, so we're going to do our breathing exercises from seated today. We oftentimes do this version in the middle of class with our cat-cow mobility. So come to the edge of your chair, ensure that you're sitting right up on your sit bones with your feet flat on the ground. Go ahead and bring your hands to the bottom of your thighs. The fingers are maybe just barely touching your kneecaps. And then when you're ready to gently breathe out, you're going to draw the chin to the chest, draw your belly in toward your spine, and roll your shoulders forward on the exhale. And then on your inhale, you're going to start to gently lift the chest. You can slide those hands up your thighs, like you're going to put your hands in your pockets, and then look at a spot like where your ceiling, where your wall meets your ceiling. So then we'll bring it back forward on the exhale, draw those shoulders forward, draw the abdomen in, and then on the inhale, just gently arch. We're not overarching the head, just find where the wall beats the ceiling straight ahead. Let's go twice more. Exhale, roll it forward, draw that chin in, get a nice stretch on the back of the neck as you pull that chin towards the chest. And then see if you can breathe in through the nose, lifting that chest, opening. Last time, exhale, roll it forward, draw the belly in towards the spine. And then inhale, gently lift the chest, gently arch, looking straight ahead. Fantastic. All righty, go to relax the shoulders down. Adjust yourself on the chair as needed. We're going to go into our ankle rolls next. So you'll set one foot down, look to lift one foot up, interlace the hands in front. Now draw those shoulders back. This also mimics a really good upper body exercise. And then we're going to roll that ankle around. Very good. When you're ready, go ahead and switch directions. Roll that ankle the other way. Normal to feel some clicks and pops through there. Good. Excellent. Set that foot down. Same thing on the other side. Continue to sit tall, lift it up, interlace the hands. And now don't let those shoulders shrug into the ears. Draw them back and down. Nice. And then from here, ankle rolls. Chin is pulled in as well. We tend to lose the chin up and forward. So think back and in. Good. Rotate the foot the other way. Very nice. And set that foot down from there. Good. Next, we're going to go a seated side stretch. So sitting up nice and tall, you can bring one hand on the hip to add a little extra support. Both feet should be firmly planted. And then let's take your left hand. We're going to reach up to your shoulder. And then we're just going to kind of work our way across. So reach across the body to start. Good. And draw that hand back. And you're going to reach just a little bit higher. So we're kind of like shoulder height. Now we'll start to reach across our face. Good. Draw it back. Open through the chest. And now we'll start to reach across the forehead. Very good. Draw it back. If your shoulders will allow, now we'll start to reach it right up to overhead. Bring that hand up and across. Very good. Bringing it back down. We're going to do that twice more. If you feel steady in your chair, you can peer up, looking up at that hand as you reach up to overhead. Good. Draw it back down towards that same side shoulder. Final time. Reaching up, sitting tall, peering up, and go ahead and rest. Fantastic. In between sides, let's go with some shoulder rolls. So you're going to bring the shoulders up and into the ears and then roll them back and down. And you can kind of bring the whole arm into it, alternating which arm comes on top. There you go. Moving through that chest. Nice. Waking up those shoulders. Inviting those shoulders to live down the rib cage. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our shoulders and they kind of sit up into our ears. All right. And now we'll go that cross body reach on the opposite side. So you can go left hand on the hip. I'm going to bring the right hand to the shoulder. And we'll start with that cross body reach right about shoulder height, just reaching straight across the body, drawing it back. As you draw it back, pull the shoulder elbow back behind you, and then we'll reach just slightly higher about the level of the face. Very good. Drawing it back, opening through the chest, and now we'll go about the level of the forehead. Reaching up and across. Good. Drawing it back. And then 3 more. If your body feels good to go up to overhead, you can reach up to overhead. First one will still look straight ahead. Good, drawing it back. And then the final 2, if you feel secure in your positioning, you can just gently peer up, trying to look up at your palm. Good. Bringing it back down when you're ready. And third and final time with that reaching up and across, peering up, and bringing it back down. Very good. All righty. And then just in the seated in the chair here, we'll just do like our little hip circles from the chair. Move that pelvis around. Very good. Feels a little bit different than standing. And then when you're ready, reverse directions. Rock it just the other way. Good. Remember this one when you're like, maybe you're somewhere, maybe you're flying an airplane or waiting for an appointment. You don't feel like you can really stand up to move. You can just move your body from seated, give a little relief to any stiff parts of your body. All right. When you're ready, we're going to come up to standing. We're going to do just one round of some kind of like some footwork practice, and then we'll get into our next circuit. So come on up to standing. Let's grab a drink of water as you come on up to your feet. All right, so as we start this next piece, if your balance is a little bit off, you might want to either be close to the wall or somewhere that you can balance, check yourself with, and definitely make sure that you're not going to trip on anything in your floor space. First exercise we're going to practice is our monster walk. So taking a wider base stance than we normally would when we're walking, and just have just a soft bend in your knees, drawing your abdomen in. And then when you're ready, we'll take these nice wide walks, like we're trying to mimic a monster. From the heel, kind of roll towards that big toe. Try to emphasize pushing off that big toe. Good. When you get to the end of your area, you can either walk backwards, standing tall if you're going to walk backwards, or just turn around and bring it back to the start. Very nice. We'll go about another 20 seconds here. If you're going to go back forward, back in that little mini crouch, shoulders down out of the ears. Halloween's coming here, so we can just imitate. We're going to mimic being a monster. Change in that direction. Very good. And then making your way back to the start, either forwards or backwards, and go ahead and rest. All right, meet me back at the center. Relax those arms down for a moment. Draw everything up and in and walk your feet just outside the hips. Our sway steps are next. So we're going to practice swaying from side to side, arms out to the side. When you're ready, draw the belly up and in, sway towards one side. Option to lift the foot off the floor, just keep it there. As you switch sides, relax the arms down, then lift up out of the hips and sway to that second side. Good. Down in between and lift. Beautiful. And over and up. We'll go another 30 seconds here, just practicing, switching, moving our center of gravity from one side of the body towards the other. And allowing our body to practice making those adjustments to kind of counteract that shift of gravity. Very good. Now one more time each way, lifting up, shoulders back and down. And second time, or final time, second side. Good, and rest. Shake out those arms. Relax them for a moment. And now we're going to come back to some balance work. So now we're going to pretend that we're walking on a balance beam here at the house. Draw the belly in and reach those arms out to the side. And just as you're confident, you're going to place one foot in front of the other. Nice and controlled. Pick the foot up. This is where you might want to stand next to the wall if you feel like you want to steady yourself a little bit better. Walking the line or walking that imaginary balance beam. Very good. Only if your balance feels secure do you want to try this backwards. Otherwise, either turn around or a normal walk backwards. Very good. Anytime you need to rest those shoulders, rest those arms down. We're going to take about another 20 seconds here. Continue to go forward or go back forward. Nice and intentional. Trying to practice rolling from your heel towards your big toe. Heel to toe. Very nice. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. All righty. Go ahead and meet me back at your chair or somewhere that you can support that upper body. We're going to do some calf raises next. Stay standing though. You're going to stay up on your feet. We just want to support the arms somewhere. Yep, there we go. So when you're ready, we're just gonna push the balls of the feet, lift the heels off the ground, and then rest them down. So lifting up. As you're lifting up, try to squeeze your booty. So squeeze the glutes, push through the balls of the feet, and then relax down. Good. Lifting up and then controlling down. So building some strength in those calves, point through those toes. Good. Maybe another 2 to 3 reps, lifting up, controlling down, a couple more. Very nice. And last one, coming up, coming down, and rest. Alrighty, stay where you are so you can still support that upper body. Let's take your left foot. We're gonna take a nice long step back and see if you can rock yourself back so that you lower that heel towards the floor. Looking to get a little bit of a stretch in the back of that calf. Yep. Good. And I'm just slightly pushing through my upper body to give a little bit of a resistance. And now as you're here, you can just ever so slightly bend that left knee towards the floor, trying to keep the heel on the ground of that left foot. And you'll extend that knee back out. It's very slightly. I just slightly lower that knee forward, put the heel down and then extend. One more if you can. Lower that knee in. Extend it back and now walk that left foot in. Good job. In between sides, let's rest the arms off the chair, hands back to the hips. And now we'll do our hip circles from standing. 3 to 5. One direction. Excellent. And then reverse directions, 3 to 5 the other way. Fabulous. All right. And then we're going to go back to that chair position. We're going to this time reach your right foot back. So stand nice and tall, draw the belly in, a little bit of a long step back of your right foot and seeing if you can lower that heel onto the ground to stretch the back of that lower leg. Good. Keep the eyes up, chest up as much as you can. Hold in this position for a moment. Feel the lower calf stretching a bit. And then from this position, you can ever so slightly bend that knee in, trying to keep the heel on the ground, whole foot planted. And then extend the back knee, gently lower that knee towards the floor. Good. Extend. A couple more. And last one. Lower it in. And extend it out. Fantastic. Going to walk that back foot in and now meet me back in the chair. All right. All right, so from the chair, we're going to we work the muscles of the back of the legs, our calves. Now seated, we're going to try to kind of wake up the muscles in the front of the shin, known as your tibialis anterior is like the main one there. So how I'm going to do this, I'm sitting on the edge of my chair. My feet are in contact with the ground, resting my hands on my knees. I'm just going to raise all 10 toes off the ground, keeping my heels down. So I'm lowering my feet down, wrist lifting all 10 toes and the front of my feet off the ground. Good. Lift them up, control it down, and just feel the small little muscles on the front of the shins start to fire. Good. We'll go about another 15 seconds here. Lift those toes up, lowering them down. Very nice. Those are the muscles that help lift up the foot and toes. So we want to keep those muscles strong as well, help prevent falls. They also just help prevent like those feelings. Have you ever had shin splints? Those are oftentimes muscles that are kind of weak in the front of the shins. All right, go ahead and rest there. Kind of swivel yourself around. We're going to do our hip stretches next. So sit up nice and tall. We're going to pick up your right leg, interlace those hands like when we did our ankle rolls earlier. And then we're going to try to get the right foot beyond that left leg. We're going to cross your legs. Readjust the hands, pull those shoulders back and down, and now hug that knee in towards your opposite shoulder. Let's close our seated glute stretch here, just trying to stretch that outer glute on the left leg, excuse me, your right leg, my left. Draw the chin in. Let's go 2 more breaths here. Try to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. And rest. Go ahead and unwind that foot. In between sides, we're going to do our seated toe touch. So the feet flat on the ground, hands on the thighs. And now we're going to slide the hands down the shins. So just as far as you're comfortable, draw the chin in towards the chest, reaching for your ankles. And then when you get a nice stretch into your back, hold that position. You can kind of grip onto your legs. And now see if you can stay here for 2 cycles of breathing. Try to expand the back of the ribs on the inhale, on the exhale. See if your chest wants to go a little bit closer to the ground. One more breath. Breathe in, breathe out. On that next inhale, come on back to seated. Nice work. And then we'll stretch the hip on your left side this time. So anchor your right foot down, lift that left leg up, try to interlace the hands in front of the knee, draw the shoulders back as you cross that foot over the opposite leg. Good. Readjust the hands, kind of come to the outside of the knee and the thigh. And now sit tall, hug that leg in, and breathe. Very good. Couple more breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch legs. So now we're going to go back to your first leg and we're going to go into that figure 4 stretch. So as you pick up your right leg, see if you can get your right foot to come to about the height of the knee on your left. And then we're going to invite this right knee to lower on down. You can gently rest the hand on the knee, sitting nice and tall, draw the shoulders back. We'll hold this for about 20 seconds. Good. Stay there another 15 seconds. I'm just going to let the dog outside. Go ahead, Moose. Getting ready to come out of that stretch in 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and release that foot down. Good job. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So now you're going to look to grab onto your left leg. Hopefully I got it right here. Cross that left foot over the right. Invite that left knee to lower down. You can gently place the left hand on that knee. And we'll hold about 20 seconds here. Really emphasize that nice tall chest posture, drawing the chin in, drawing the shoulders back. And breathing. All right, after this stretch, we're going to come into our main part of the workout here today. Go ahead and come on out of that stretch. If the water is nearby, grab a drink, and then we're going to make our way back up to our feet. We're going to practice just a little bit of squatting today. And then we're going to do our bent over rows, working on that strength, the mid back. We'll do a couple rounds of that, and then we'll end down on the ground as we talked about at the start with our glute bridge activation and our low back stretches. So making your way back up to standing. We're going to warm up our squats. And if you have some free weights around, we'll use some weights for that bent over row. All right. So as you come to standing, I always use the back of the chair here to support my upper body when we demo this. You can use a countertop, a tabletop. If you're secure in your squatting, then just reach your arms straight out. Don't worry about holding on. Otherwise, walk your feet out so they're about hip width apart. You're going to have just a very slight toe out of the toes to help invite the hips to open. And then when you're ready, you can hold on with that upper body. You're going to keep your chest tall, lowering your hips back as you drive your knees nice and wide. Foot stays planted and in contact with the ground. Very nice. Reaching those arms out, coming down as far as you are confident and can go without pain, and then coming back up to standing. Same idea, reaching those arms out or holding on, keeping those knees wide and push through your feet. Fantastic. Let's go about another 20 seconds here. Moving with control. Awesome, great depth, Shirley. And then coming back up nice and tall, maybe one more. So sinking back, pushing those knees wide and standing tall. Fantastic. All righty, from here, we're gonna come into our bent over row. So let's go ahead and find a weight that you want to start with. Let's pick it up in your left hand, and we're going to support on the right hand. So make a nice wide handprint. Support that right hand down, walk your feet back. Really key here to have a soft bend in your knees and midsection nice and strong. When you're ready, you're going to take the weight in your left hand. You're going to allow your shoulder to reach forward just a little bit, and then just imagine you've got a friend pulling your elbow right up towards the ceiling. Reaching forward. Good, that's exactly it. And then draw that elbow nice and high. Breathe in as you reach forward, and then exhale as you draw that elbow up and in. Good. Forward reach, high elbow pull. Excellent. Good. Let's go a couple more. Down, draw that elbow high. Last time, reaching down, up, and take a rest. Good job. Set your weight down. Come on up to standing. We're just going to do a little torso rotations in between sides. So standing nice and tall, soft bend those knees. You just kind of use your arms for support. You're going to rotate to one side and then rotate to the other. Turn the head as well. You want to see how far can I look over that shoulder behind me. Very good. One side and then the other. All right, once you loosen up that low back, we're going to come back down and we'll do our bent over row, this time with the weight in your right hand. So come back into position, making sure you're nice and neutral through your midsection, wide handprint on the left to support, grab the weight in the right. 2, 1, here we go. Reaching forward, nice flat back, and now how high can you pull the elbow? Sometimes we'll tend to shrug that shoulder up and into the ear. I want you to imagine you want to keep the shoulder out of the ear, kind of bring that shoulder blade down the spine as you draw the elbow high. Good. Halfway. Breathe in to reach. Exhale, pull that elbow up and in. You can practice pausing in the top position. Beautiful. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Reach it forward. Draw it high, 2, 1, and rest. Very good. Set it down. Coming back up to standing. All right, if the water's nearby, grab a drink. We're going to do a little stretching, and then we'll repeat that circuit. All right, always try to keep you hydrated here in class. All right, we're going to do a stretch from standing. We did a similar version seated, but now we're going to add the hips into it. So set your right foot down nice and strong. Step your left foot back just a little bit. You'll look to like lower that heel down. If you can have both heels on the ground, feet about hip width apart. Start with both hands on the hips and then take your left hand up to that left shoulder. So our crossbody reach, and now we're going to add the hip into it. So you can shift the hip forward a little bit as you reach across the body. Good. Squeeze that glute. Allow yourself to just slightly rotate, reaching a little bit higher each time. Very nice. Coming over the forehead and back. And now if your body will allow you to, coming right over top of the head, kind of add a side stretch with it. Down and up. Stretch that side body. Good. Breathe in as you come back down, and then exhale as you reach up. Fantastic. Final time. Down and up. The more we can lengthen that side body, the less havoc our low back tends to give us. Good job. Walk that back foot in between side. Just gently rock the hips side to side. Smile. Feels good to move our bodies. Keep it going. All right. Thanks for those smiles. Set that left foot down now. Now the right foot's going to go back, and you'll bring that right hand up to the right shoulder. All right. When you're ready, shift that back hip forward, reaching across, start at about shoulder height. Breathe in as you draw that hand back, and then gently exhale, reaching up and across. Squeeze the glute. Inhale, drawing it back. Exhale, reaching up and across at the level of the forehead. Good. And if your body says, okay, shoulder works for you to come overhead, we'll reach straight up and over. Beautiful. 2 more there. Breathe in to lower. Gently exhale. If you want to peer up at that hand, you can. And last time, bringing it down. And nice high reach up and across. Awesome job, and rest. All right. If you remember where we started, we're going to go back to the squats. This will be our second of 2 times through. We're going to spend almost a whole minute practicing our squat here. If you want to take a break and shorten your range of motion, I'll demo to the chair here today. So I like to kind of stand on the corner of the chair, set the feet just like we would for a normal squat. And then when you're ready, you're going to control the hips back as you reach those arms out, trying to sit down with control and standing nice and strong. All righty. About another 40 seconds here. Send those hips back. Try to sit down nice and soft and then stand. Good. And if you're confident to do it without the chair, then don't use the chair, but just showing another option if you're like, I don't know how I feel without something to lower down to. Good. Beautiful. Let's go about 3 more times. Push those knees wide, grip those toes down, and then drive your feet into the floor. So you're going to think about pushing straight down into the floor to generate that force to push your body up out of the chair. Good. Last time. Controlling back, reaching those arms out, and eyes up, chest up as you stand. Wonderful. All right. Bent over row, left arm. Since we're going 2 rounds, we're going just a little bit longer intervals than was planned. So we're working about 40 seconds on each here. And then we forward and then draw that elbow high. Good. I don't know why my internet's talking to me. Sorry if I'm breaking up a little bit. Reaching forward, draw that elbow. Very nice. We're going to feel that shoulder blade move along the rib cage. So we allow it to just gently go forward, and then we're really focused on that retraction. So that means you draw the shoulder back as you draw that elbow high. Good. 10 more seconds. Fantastic. Long reach forward, midline strong, draw it high, and 3, 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. Set the weight down, come back up to standing. Walk the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Soft bend those knees. Now we're going to interlace the hands straight out in front of the body, and we'll do our rotations with our arms extended. Pulling the arms to one side, looking over that shoulder. Breathing in as you come back to neutral. Good. Draw the shoulders back as you rotate. So Shirley, instead of reaching the shoulders forward, draw the shoulders back and then rotate. That's better. Yep. Good. Breathe in, back to center. One more time each way. So draw the shoulders back and just rotate through the hips and spine. Back to neutral. Very good. And then soft bend, second time, second side. Good. Turn your head as well. Follow the hands. And back to center and rest. All righty. Good job. Just give yourself a little kind of like bop side to side. There you go. Feel goofy, feel silly. Yep, exactly. Just moving the body a little bit different than we normally would. All right. Now we'll come back to our final bent over row in your right hand. So set the feet. Draw the belly in, wide handprint on the left hand to support. And when you're ready, we're going to reach straight down and draw that elbow nice and high. Fantastic. One of our key exercises here are bent over row, building that strength in the mid back. We also work our midline, our core as we do this exercise. Making sure that we're not locked out to the knees. A lot of times I see people hyperextend those knees, which is going to put more strain on that low back, as well as it's just hard on the knee joints. So keeping that soft bend. We're just over 30 seconds in. Let's try to get a couple more quality reps here. Reaching forward, draw that elbow high. Last time. 2, 1, and rest. Woohoo! Fantastic. All right, grab a drink. Trying to clear the space. And then as mentioned, this last part here of the workout, we're going to make our way onto the floor. So if you have a mat, if you can't get down on the floor, but if you have a bed or a couch that you can lie on your back, that's what we're headed towards. So I'm just going to readjust here. All right. So however it's comfortable for you to get down. I'm going to come on to our backs. I'm going to swing around so I can see the clock. Move this guy out of the way. All right, just nice and slow, lower down onto the back if you haven't already. And once you get down here, we're going to start with a little bit of stretching. So first, see if you can kind of shift your torso so you pull the shoulders back, have as much of a broad chest as you can and not let those shoulders go forward. And then we're going to see what's going on at the hips. So you want to think about if you have a space between that low back and the floor, we're going to start by rotating your hips back. Draw your belly in and push that low back into the floor. Very good. From here, push your left foot down into the floor and pull your right knee towards your chest. Good. From this position, we'll go ahead and repeat the ankle circles that we did from seated earlier. So as you're pulling that right knee in, go ahead and circle your ankle around 5 to 10 times one direction. And this whole time, I'm still kind of engaging my midline, trying to keep that low back flat to the floor. When you're ready, go ahead and circle that same ankle the other way. Very good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and set that foot down. And we're going to go same thing other side. You can relax the midline if you need, kind of roll the hips forward. And then when you're ready, roll the hips back down. And now we'll push through your right foot as we lift up the left and draw that left knee towards the chest. Moving that ankle around on the left foot. Good. Switch directions that ankle when you're ready. And when you finish that, go ahead and place that left foot back on the floor. Alrighty. Good. Go ahead and relax the abdomen for a moment here. And then we're going to practice just focusing on that lower core. So you can rest your arms out to the side, have your feet about hip width apart, flat on the ground. And then when you're ready, we call it like our abdominal draw. So you're going to draw your belly in, rotate those hips back, and push your low back into the floor, looking to maintain that tension, but try to do so without holding your breath. You can also kind of work a little bit of a Kegel exercise here, where you can imagine if you have to go to the bathroom, you kind of grip all those small muscles of your pelvis, try to help prevent yourself from going to the bathroom. And then anytime you need to take a break, let the abdomen, hips roll back forward, belly relaxes. And then when you're ready, you'll go back into it, rolling those hips back, pulling the belly in, squeezing all those small little muscles of your pelvis, trying to breathe as you hold this core in here. Very good. And then when you're ready, if you haven't already, roll those hips back forward and take a pause. Excellent. All right, from here, keep the feet about hip width apart. If they're a little bit narrow, walk them a little bit wider. With your arms out to the side, we're going to lower the knees to one side like windshield wipers, so you can bring your legs across to your left side. Nice and controlled. Then you'll bring the knees up back to their starting position. And then nice and slow, lower the knees across the body to the opposite side. So take them to your right. So we'll go about 3 times each way, back to center, and then back to your left. This should all be fairly gradual here, just encouraging a little bit of rotation in the different directions through the hips. Don't want to move into any kind of pain. Let me go one more time each way, lowering them back to the left, back up to center, and then back to the right. Very nice. All right, if the feet are pretty wide, you can walk them back in a little bit. Next thing we're going to practice is our glute bridges. So have your palms down to the floor, arms extended at the side. Center your head so that your neck's nice and neutral. And then similar to the abdominal draw, you're going to do that first. You're going to draw your belly in, rotate your hips back so that low back makes contact with the floor. And now you can push through your heels and just very gradually start to lift your hips off the ground. Nothing to prove here. You can just lift it up a few inches off the ground. And then when you're ready, you'll lower them back down. We're going to spend about a minute practicing this. So you'll come down, you can kind of relax for a second, roll the hips forward, and then we'll roll the hips back. Push those knees out as you drive through your feet and raise those hips up. Really focus to squeeze the glutes, also known as your butt. So squeeze those glutes, then down and relax. And spend about another 30 seconds here. Feel free to move at your own tempo, but I encourage more control of movement than speed of movement. This is a great exercise. Not only do we activate those bigger muscles of our glutes and our hamstrings, but it's also a good opening for the front of the hips. As we lift those hips up, it stretches the muscles on the front of the hips and activates the muscles in the back of the hips. Good. Go ahead and finish that stretch or that last rep and then rest. All right. If you're comfortable to do so, you're going to lift both legs up off the ground and hug your knees in toward your chest. We call this double knee to chest. As you're hugging those legs in, gets a nice stretch for the low back. I also invite you to close the eyes here and ever so gently, if you feel like you want to rock your body side to side, you can just hug those legs in and give yourself like a little tiny massage for that low back as you rock yourself side to side. Very good. All right. We're going to go one more time through, going back to that abdominal draw. So when you're done with that double knee to chest, go ahead and keep those knees bent, put the feet back down on the mat. And now we're going to practice that abdominal draw once again. So you'll roll the hips forward and then roll those hips back, drawing that abdomen in. If you want a little bit more challenge here, you can look to slide one heel out. So I'm still holding my belly strong, and you can look to straighten out your left leg by sliding the heel down the floor, only as far as you can maintain that strong position of your low back. And then you'd slide that same foot back up and in, rest through your pelvis anytime you need, rest that core, and then you'll draw it back in. So you can draw it in if that's a challenge for you, which is commonly a challenge for many people. But if you're like, I think I've got that down, now you can slide the foot while you hold that position. So now I'll go my right foot, slide in and out, holding that nice strong posture of the belly as I slide it back in, and then I can rest. All righty, so I'm going to go one more time, just practice that abdominal draw without the slide. Roll the hips back. You want to feel like your belly is pushing out, even though you're pulling in. I know that's kind of a little bit of a paradox there, oxymoron, but when we push the belly out, it's like bracing the core and pushing the spine into the floor. All right, go ahead and rest there. Fantastic. Let's go back to that double knee to chest, and then we'll finish with one more set of glute bridges. Hug those legs in and gently rock your body side to side. We're going just a little bit shorter class here today. Of course, I always say shorter, and then we're already 40 minutes in. All right, after that double knee to chest, go ahead and put those feet back down with the feet about hip width apart. And we're going to do our final round of practicing those bridges. So arms at the side, head nice and neutral. And then how do we start? That abdominal draw, rocking the pelvis back, pulling the belly in as you push that low back into the floor, and gradually raise the hips up by pushing through your heels. Watch the knees. They tend to want to drive in, raising them up and then lowering the hips down, finding your own tempo here. We'll spend about a full minute, maybe a little bit more than. If you're someone that has low back discomfort from time to time, I recommend working with some of these exercises even on a daily basis. It's a great thing to do as you're waking up in the morning, kind of loosen up the low back before you get up for the day. You can hug the legs in and then work on opening the hips, strengthening the glutes as you do a couple glute bridges, lowering them down, lowering them up, raising them up. Very good. About another 20 seconds here. Remember also kind of think about doing those Kegel exercises, squeezing all those small muscles of your pelvis as you squeeze your booty down and rest. Take you through one more. Relax through the abdomen and then engage, pulling the abdomen in, pushing that low back into the floor and then driving through your heels as you gently raise the hips up. You can also think about pulling the chin towards the chest as those hips get higher, and then go ahead and rest them down. Fantastic. All right, friends, final double knee to chest. Go ahead and hug those legs in, rock your body side to side once again. And then when you're all done with that, we'll just take your time, rolling onto your side and making your way back up to seated. So always kind of best to come to hands and knees. If you have a chair that you can use to help get up off the ground, That can be very helpful as well. Pushing your hands into the chair, getting your legs back under you. Try to get your foot all the way flat, like you're gonna do like a lunge here, pushing that heel, coming back up to standing. All righty. Great job. Go ahead and meet me in the chair. We'll do our final breathing exercise. Relax those shoulders down to finish. Got the wild hair here today. All right, so sit up nice and tall. We'll do 3 breaths together. On that inhale, try to breathe in through the nose, elevate those shoulders up into the ears, and then exhale. Draw the shoulders back and down. Good. Breathe in. Elevate the shoulders and breathe out. Release any stress, release any tension. Good. One more time. Breathe in joy. Breathe in peace and exhale all that stress and worry. Fantastic. All right. Thanks for being here today. Showing up to move your body however feels best for you. Pay attention to what felt good. What can you maybe do on a regular basis? And otherwise, we'll see you next time.